ChatGPT, an AI chatbot that you 100% know the capabilities of. Today, however, I decided to push ChatGPT to its limit and see if it would be able to help me beat a map that I've never ever beaten before. Fjordur. Do make sure to stay to the end, however, to see just how this chatbot ended up transforming from my guide into my worst nightmare. As always, sit back, relax, grab some snacks, grab some water, subscribe, and enjoy the video. The first thing I asked my friend here was if he knew ARK. Pretty familiar? That's all I need to know, okay. Then I asked him if I should keep single player settings on, to which he agreed. So, filled with excitement, I hopped on Fjordur and immediately encountered an issue. The spawn location. Thankfully, Mr. GPT came in clutch and recommended that I spawn in Verdeland South and also gave me 3 goals to make the early game just a little bit easier. So, with this brand new information in mind, as well as the state-of-the-art AI backing me up, it was time to spawn in and conquer this map. First time playing Fjordur, by the way. Okay, almost. Immediately after spawning, I saw some beach boxes, and upon breaking them, the game awarded me with some insane loot. After harvesting all the boxes that I could, I found a little monkey. Since I don't usually tame monkeys, I wanted to see what my friend here had to say. Well, looks like I have a monkey now. Since I suck at naming things, I gave him a word in this, and the names he suggested were interesting, to say the least. Everyone, say hello to Poop Lord. I can't believe I said that out loud. With my trusty monkey on my shoulder, I felt confident to progress and strip the local beach of dinos as well as resources. In the meantime, I was also slowly but surely progressing to Stone Tier, which was the resource that ChatGPT recommended I build my base out of. Then, as you might have noticed, I was butt naked on a cold beach. So the solution was to obviously make some armor, hide armor to be exact, which was awesome as it provides you with marginally more cold resistance than the cloth armor. Perfect for Fjordur. Afterwards, I cooked some delicious dodo meat and while waiting for that to cook, collected all the barrels, crates and stones until I hit level 24. Then, after inevitably hitting level 24, I unlocked the stone structures and built the legendary 1x2, as a 1x1 doesn't really count as a base. But after being done with that, I noticed a lone parser wandering my front yard, so I quickly put him to sleep by using ChatGPT approved methods. While waiting, I built 2 forges to start smelting some metal, and after the bears were tamed, I took him into the local forest to collect some much needed narco berries. Afterwards, I made a schmitty, some water and pastels for obviously narcotics, and also wanted to test out the AI's reasoning skills. Get this, near my base there was a Calicothyrium that I was pretty afraid of, so I asked my guy if I should kill it, to which he said no. Awesome. He did say yes, but only after getting an Argentavis or a raptor, so that's exactly what I set out to tame. Right after entering, I was greeted by a raptor that I immediately bowled and put to sleep. On the way higher up the hill, I encountered a Fiomia, another dino that I was supposed to tame. While trying to do so though, a pack of Trudons attacked me, and despite my efforts of escaping, I still ended up... Hell no, hell no, hell no, 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 no. I'm dead, I'm dead, I'm dead, I'm dead. Dying. To spice up this first death though, I asked the bot to give me a challenge. A painful challenge. And let me just tell you that this guy was not playing around, as the challenge he gave me was unfucking real. For starters, he wanted me to go survive 20 minutes in a place where I literally lost 30% of my health from just spawning in. Well, yeah, okay, this might be harder than I expected. I wasn't going to give up that easily though, so I kept trying and trying and trying and trying until my game crashed. Hello, my game just closed. Okay, mama ain't raised no bitch, we're not doing this. After joining him back though, I tried some more until I decided that this wasn't going to be very possible. Plus he was turning night. So, defeated, I had to ask him for a challenge that was a little bit less painful. So he went to the opposite end of the spectrum, told me to respawn, tame any new dino, which was obviously a dodo, and then go back to my base. On the way back to base, I saw that my dodo got brutally murdered by seagulls, and unfortunately I couldn't grieve for long as I made sure to join him shortly afterwards. The second time around, I noticed my monkey get killed by Trudons. No! And shortly after that, my raptor died as well. Oh, my raptor teamed. I forgot. I completely forgot about him. Oh boy, we're back to square one. And while trying to get revenge on the Trudons from earlier, I lost my Parasaur as well. So I just ran back home and hid inside until it turned day. At which point I manually disposed of the evil Trudons and collected some local runes for a huge boost in levels. Which actually allowed me to learn the flag set and then also craft it. After informing my companion of my new poverty level, he said that it's alright and that I should focus all my resources on getting an Argent Davis. While looking for one such bird, I got intercepted by a pack of direwolves. Now earlier, ChatGPT did say that I was going to the small dino for caves. 100, yeah buddy. So I tried training him, but that proved to be just a little bit harder than expected. GG. Why do I follow him, man? Why do I do this? Why do I do this? Why do I do this? Oh my god, I'm so stupid. Once returned, the wolf transformed into an item bag, and after grabbing my stuff bag, parachuted back home to re-gear. On the way, I noticed 2 Rexes awfully close to my base, and after quickly discussing with my gaming advisor, we agreed that I should tame one of them. So I checked their levels, and bada bing bada boom, 135. Hell yeah. After taming the Rex, I saddled the beast up and got my next set of goals. Those were to tame all the utility dinos that I would end up needing. This time, however, going up the mountain was going to be incomparably easier than before. So, after making it high enough, I found a pack of Argis. Now, a normal person would... yeah, actually I don't know what a normal person would do here, but what I am gonna do though, is attack all the Argis, and if one survives, then that's the high level one. Then I quickly tried the surviving Argent Davis, and to no one's surprise, it ended up being level 145.
Oh my god, dude, this guy is so smart. Wow.
Oh, thank you, thank you. After the birthing, I swiftly returned home. Okay, I'm so stupid, man. Oh my god. Once arrived, I used 100% of my brain to cook up some new names for my dinos and definitely didn't ask the AI for names. Then I saddled up my Argent Davis, took it out for a ride and collected some crystals from the local mountain. Why? So I could make a spyglass. Duh. And with that taken care of, I could see all the dino stats including their level, so I made sure to put that to good use to search for high level Anki. After tranking it, I returned back to the snow where I found a beautiful level 150 snow owl. I didn't include this in the video yet, but I did find one earlier and GPT said it's fine to tame, so... While trying to train this beast, it, by some miracle, managed to escape the trap. How? What, how? So naturally, I just chased it down and continued shooting it until it fell asleep. No, it's out, yes! After it tamed, I went over to pick it up and on the way found a Ferezino seemingly stuck in between some debris. And since there's going to be a lot of bossing to be done later on, you best believe my man gave me the green light to crank up this bad boy. He did get a certain info wrong though.
What?
But you know what? I don't think it really matters. What matters now is getting some narco bears with my trusty Parasaur to make a bunch of narcotics and get the first Ferezino tamed, which also saves me the hassle of having to tame a beaver later on in the video. While the Ferezino was taming, I took my snow owl out for a ride to collect a bunch of runes as well as loot some drops on the way. While doing so, a literal blue drop blessed me with an ascendant crossbow. Oh. Yeah, safe to say that taming in the future will be way easier actually. After that little adventure, the fairy tamed and I also got bored of my current base location, so I started asking for suggestions. His recommendation though was Verdelan West due to all of these reasons. So I threw everything into the snow owl and arrived in what will be my future base of operations. Just gotta build it first. After building the base, I cleared out an area around it by using my Ferezino. and then got yet another quest, basically to tame more fairies and rexes to get to breeding to prepare for the bosses. Easy gaming. After knocking out the Rex, I made sure to also trank a local high-level Dodicarus, as that was also one of the dinos GPT recommended that I tame. Then, as night fell, I took both my RG and my Anki to farm a bunch of metal from the local metal spot. And once done with that, resumed taming dinos as well as killing things for runestones. While looking, I also found a low-level male Ferzino. Now usually I wouldn't really dare tame this, but desperate times do call for desperate measures. And after concluding that lengthy farming session, I asked my dear advisor what I should do next. To which he said that I should start breeding ASAP and prepare for the bosses. Make sure to also suggest that I make a veggie farm for veggie cakes to feed the Ferezinos. Oh, and also, according to him, the perfect 20 dino army consists of... Okay, so we're gonna go for 12 fairies, 5 rexes, 1 UT, 1 Deodon, 1... What? What? Oh, yeah. For some reason GPT already started showing signs of schizophrenia. Ah, so then 6 rexes, okay. But thinking nothing of it, I continued breeding and expanding my base. While killing alphas for runestones, I found the Giga. Now, of course, I don't even know why I'm bothering to ask ChatGPT if I should tame it, because we all know that the answer is... Yeah, okay, I guess we're skipping the Giga. That's definitely unfortunate, especially considering that I will need a Giga later in the video. But, as I've said, ChatGPT is the boss. If he says no, it's a no. Filled with sadness, I returned home and made a harpoon launcher as well as a net, as by using these I would be able to trank Ferezinos even faster than before. And in the meantime I took my Anki to the local hill to farm a bunch of crystal as I was going to need it to build a greenhouse. Right after I get some seeds. With the farm constructed, all that was lacking was just fertilizer, but fortunately that's super easy to get thanks to the Fiumia. With the farm up and going, I had just one last thing left to take care of. Okay, so the last goal is tame a pig. Taming a pig was actually super easy, unsurprisingly. But next goal. Basically the thing you've been waiting for. Bossing. Unfortunately, I only had 42 out of the 90 required runestones, not to mention the lacking artifacts, so I do have a little bit of farming to do beforehand, but it's definitely happening soon. While looking for alphas, I also just tame more Ferezinos, as I'll need a lot more if I want to take 12 dinos to the boss. And after breeding a bunch, it was time to move on to caves. And for caves, I was going to need a dino, but not just any dino, I was going to need a Baryonyx. Okay, never tamed Baryonyx for caves though, so yeah, let's do it. Unfortunately though, finding a Baryonyx proved to be very hard, and while looking around, I stumbled across a level 140 Phylacolio. And because of that, I decided to immediately throw the berry out the window and do the caves with the Phylacolio. While waiting, I also found a low level dire bear that would be helpful in getting honey. Get it? Bee, as in bees. Yeah, okay. So I asked the bot what he thought of the bear while sneakily dodging the honey aspect, but safe to say that I couldn't really outsmart him. But at least I got the bear as well as the Phylacolio shortly afterwards. Back home, I immediately began using the bear for some easy honey, and I shifted my focus into getting the second tedious resource, sap. I was going to need a lot more cementing paste for sap taps, since they're really fucking expensive, but that didn't prove to be too difficult, so after getting it done, I had about 6, maybe 7 sap taps, which would surely suffice. Back at base, I leveled all the rexes that I had, as it was time to conquer the first mini-boss of Fjordur, Bale the Bee. Once right in her room, I noticed that there were some giant bee nests present, and upon hitting one of them, well, yeah, safe to say that the bear is completely redundant at this point. But where was I? Ah, right, Bela. Beating any world boss was with 30 element as well as an assortment of random gear. Oh yeah, and it's unique relic which you actually need to beat the final boss. But with Bela taken care of, I wasted absolutely no time and jumped straight into the 3 recommended caves. In preparation, I made some grappling hooks as well as a full ghillie set. Then I took my cat and went straight into the first cave. And besides almost dying instantly, the cave wasn't all too bad. While exploring it, I also found some pretty nice Gillibo's blueprint in yellow drop that will surely come in handy later, and afterwards grabbed the second artifact. Back at base, all I did was re-gear and craft a full first set, as the next cave was all the way in the snow biome, or according to ChatGPT, here. Yeah, there is no cave here. This is also when I encountered another problem with him. The fact that he gave me the artifact locations, not the artifact entrances. Like, what the fuck am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to grab a shovel and start digging? Like, what? After grabbing the 3 recommended artifacts, I made sure to let my boss know, which he responded by giving me my final task, beat Hattie and Skull. Also, do note how he said that Steinburn is optional. This will be very important very soon.
What?
After defeating Hattie and Skull, I got awarded with pretty much useless loot, the only thing that benefited me being the relics. So, armed with 3 relics as well as the 3 artifacts, it was time to heal up my whole army and move on to the final boss. Since I was becoming a little bit skeptical at this point though, and since in my last further quote-unquote video I spawned the boss with trophies, I asked him if he was 100% sure that his way was the intended way to spawn the boss. Statement which he 100% backed up and assured me that I had absolutely nothing to worry about. Is he sure though? Hold on. Because I think he's capping here. He's thinking. You see the bubble, he's thinking. Ah, now it makes sense. Oh, really? So, after being assured, I began the last preparations for the boss. More specifically, doing some more breeding, crafting some veggie cakes, and taming a Uteranus. So, after returning home, it was time to take out the Fenrir Sulfur. Except that I'm a fucking idiot. What the fuck, man? How the fuck did it all the fuck? What? Oh my god, I'm so stupid! Oh my god, I'm actually 1 IQ, bro! While waiting to breed another fairy hatch, I headed back out on Asgard to beat Hattie and Skull again for more loot to hopefully get a Ferrezino saddle blueprint. My frightening genius though considered that I could take out 2 literal world bosses with unsaddled Rexes, and unsurprisingly that didn't head up too well. I did manage to beat one, but lost all my Rexes in the process. Thankfully, if you go far away, the boss goes back to the altar and leaves you alone. So, determined to get my revenge, I went home, regrouped and returned to whoop his ass. On the bright side, the fairies were ready to breed. And after collecting all the sap and turning that into veggie cakes, the absolute last thing left to do was level up the fairies. And unfortunately, babies were really cutting it this time, but what was really cutting it was cutting trees. Get it? Cutting trees? Yeah, okay, I'll just stop with the jokes. Two, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. Oh boy. After assembling the complete army, I head out to where ChatGPT said I could spawn the Fenrir. Unfortunately, I couldn't find exactly what he meant, but I did find the thing he was referring to, which was the teleport cave thing. And after informing him of my whereabouts, he said to look for a terminal that doesn't fucking exist. So, after sending him yet another screenshot, he told me that I ended up being in the wrong spot. Afterwards, I began calling him out for lying, a statement which he just brushed off and assured me that there was nothing to be skeptical about. This fucking guy, dude. And after confronting him again, he told me it was a visual bug.
Sure, buddy.
After putting all the tributes in the obelisk, I sent him yet another screenshot, which he ended up telling me to go back to that cave from earlier that, as we already know, doesn't work. ChatGPT's next genius idea was to go to our boss terminal and summon in the Fenrir from there. Spoiler alert, that also didn't work. After being told to wander around the map aimlessly by a blind bot, I was full of anger, but despite all my previous attempts, GPT had one final idea. After arriving inside the cave, I began thoroughly exploring it in search of the aforementioned terminal. A terminal that also doesn't exist. So, after confronting the AI again, he finally admitted defeat and told me that the way to summon the Fenrir was in fact the intended way. Thankfully, he did have me collect 3 artifacts earlier, so I thought, why didn't I just go fight the Broodmother first? What I failed to consider, however, was that the artifacts were insufficient. You mean artifacts were too massive? Oh my god. So, filled with anger and disappointment, I returned home and started preparing for the caves. The first of those caves being the Swamp Cave. Browsing my file, however, the cave proved to be a total pushover, just like the future ones. Unfortunately though, after arriving to the artifact spot, it wasn't present. Classic ARK, so I just ended up using commands to give myself the artifact. And after making it out of the cave, I ended up dying by some Desmoduses. Oh my god, this is so cringe, man! What the fuck is going on, dude? Now thankfully I managed to make it back to collect my stuff and get my revenge. And after being done with that cave, it was time to head on to the second cave, which was obviously underwater. And just like last time, the artifact was missing. This time, however, I didn't have time for commands as I had to skedaddle and I had to do it quick. Or that was the plan. As I was trying to run away, my game crashed, and when I loaded back in... Nice, man! Fuck this game! RG came in clutch again though, and after re-entering the cave, I found my stuff, sacrificed the Ferzino, and swiftly escaped the cave. After being done with all these caves, I had just one left to take care of. The maze puzzle cave thing. Yeah, I don't really know. But it houses the artifact of the Massive, the last artifact I need for a Broodmother. The main thing to be noted about this cave is that stepping on the pressure plates launches strength darts similar to the ones in Lava Golem Cave, and stepping on the spikes is most probably death. After making my way through the maze, I found myself surrounded by 4 colors. Now normally I'd have to wander around, blah blah blah, find the colors, boring. I just googled them and they are green, yellow, purple and blue. The second half of the maze introduced insta-kill pits as well as just more traps overall. The second combination of colors is green, purple, yellow, blue. After making it past the 2 gates, the artifact was free for the taking. Also, massive props for devs, no pun intended, but after making it to the end of the cave, there are literal shortcuts to take to reach the entrance faster. After arriving back at base, I had pretty much all the required things for the bosses, so I wasted absolutely 0 seconds and arrived at the Broodmother platform. As expected, the boss fight was a total pushover, and for my troubles I got some element that I don't really need as well as a trophy. Also, since the fight was so easy, my guys barely took any damage. So without wasting time again, I immediately went home to grab the artifacts for the second boss, is what I would have done if GPT didn't troll me. You see, for the Mega Pickaxe you need the Steinbjorn relic, a boss that the AI specifically said is optional and I shouldn't fight. Before worrying about Steinbjorn, I decided to tackle the dragon as I had everything ready. Since the dragon is the dragon, I made sure to give my fairies some veggie cakes just in case, and afterwards I initiated the fight. As expected, this fight was super easy. For the Mega Pickaxe, all I needed to do was beat the Steinbjorn. However, this world boss has about 90% damage reduction to all attacks. And the only two dinos that can bypass this damage reduction are the Rock Golem and the Giga. But as you may remember, I did encounter Giga earlier, to which Mr. Smartass said, yeah, don't tame it, it's useless. We're gonna tame a Giga and actually finish the challenge. Also, I guess it became clear by now, but beating the game purely with ChatGPT is not possible. He has a bunch of flaws and can make a bunch of mistakes, but it can be of help, just not for the whole challenge. Luckily, the exact Giga that GPT said not to tame was still waiting for me patiently throughout all this time. So without wasting any more time, I trapped it up and began the taming process. After taming the Giga, I was him to kill a bunch of alphas for not only more runestones, but also levels, as a base level unimprinted Giga will probably die. And after that, I took my whole army and head out to beat Steinbjorn, just for safety, you know. Now unfortunately, I didn't have any more access to breed, let alone use for the furrier, so like an old reunion, went back to ChatGPT to ask him if 80 furries would manage the last two bosses. To which he said yeah. Then I just did some healing with the snow owl, prepared the new furries, and after waiting for a bit, I was pretty much ready to take out the Mega Pickaxe. After beating him, I healed up everyone, grabbed all the veggie cakes.
What if I do with the rest of the cakes? I think I left them at some boss, right?
And arrived at Green Obelisk to finish this challenge. Every Ferrizino got about 3 veggie cakes, which will hopefully suffice, and after arriving in his domain, all I had to do was buff my dinos while dodging the spectral wolf.
GG. GG! I also got a furrier for our troubles, probably the worst dino in the game.
After conquering the game of Fenrir Sulfur, I went back to my old friend to inform him of my victory.
Let's go, huge congrats. Hey yo! That's the journey done, mission complete.